Okay, what's up guys? I guess I'll just introduce ourselves. My name is Josh, and this is my twin brother Nathan. And we are two of four co-founders of Original Cape Town. It's our hemp-based company. And our topic for today is, can cannabis be used to grow a new nation? And we're going to be delineating on how we believe this might be possible.
How's it going, guys? My name is Nathan Swart. I'm Josh's twin brother, also one of the four co-founders of Original Cape Town. I'm going to give you guys just a quick little introduction to our company. Essentially, we do hemp-based products. Then we have textiles and personal care products. So we have some t-shirts, some linen shirts. Please come check out our Staliki. It's about 300 rand a shirt. And if you don't have a piece of hemp clothing yet, I urge you to get one at this expo. And my shirts are the best, so you got to come check them out. But then also a very large part of our company is our social projects, which we are going to be touching on a little bit later as to the conversation of if hemp can indeed save this nation.
But just to build a little bit of rapport with those of you that are sitting over here, they say that it's always nice to let you guys in on our intimate side. So we got a little family picture I'd like to share with you. Took it this morning actually, and that's us and our little family. So
and our little babies that we've been nursing for a long time. But I'd just like to say that we are very excited to be here at the very first ever Cannabis Expo in Cape Town. It's a massive step for the cannabis industry in Cape Town and in South Africa. Naturally, Cape Townians being the cool kids on the block, riding to the party late, how Pretoria managed to beat us to the first Cannabis Expo in South Africa. But we all know how things are here in Cape Town. Like the traffic, we take things a little bit slow, but rather slow and smooth and steady to win the race.
And as much as we would like to touch on all of the benefits of hemp, all the thousands of products we can get from it, I feel a lot of the conversations at the expo are centered around that. So we actually will be focusing on how hemp can be used to change the nation, and touching on those various different spaces. And our talk highlights will be touching on growing New South Africa, so that will be touching on government, business and education. And then Nathan will talk about growing OGs, and then we've got some fun course for you guys to lead with just a couple of takeaways. So let's jump into how this plant can be saving South Africa, and jumping first into education. So we've broken this down into primary, tertiary and secondary education. And we want to start with the toddlers. We want to start right at the beginning. Don't worry, they're not going to be growing bud at the age of 6. We're going to be teaching them how to grow tomatoes, growing your basic vegetables. We already do have a growing OGs project in the Philippines, where we teach children how to grow in the ground, in hydroponics. We've got a greenhouse. And it's really it's exciting for a little boy or a little girl to grow a tomato, and then a couple of months later they get to eat it. So that's your basic, and this is just introducing agronomy to our schooling curriculum. It's unfortunate that this is not a part of our schooling curriculum. When I wrap up secondary education, you'll be able to feed yourself after high school. Is kind of what we want to get to, with a little bit of added extras. But yeah, just once again for the primary kids, it's really fun just to grow some basic fruit and veg. In the secondary space, so your middle school to high school, we're looking at introducing your basic sciences, your periodic table. You guys are learning that when the leaves are turning purple, you need to add magnesium or more potassium. So it's really sort of your basic sciences that we're starting to introduce to the children, and then starting to make our way of introducing hemp to the children, maybe around grade 10. Also introducing hydroponic growing systems, aeroponics, organic growing. It's just like really broadening the perspective of how we can get to a space of being self-sustaining.
But just note that it's not necessarily just hemp, it's growing all different crops. So as children, we're not, like Josh said, not going to teach 6-year-olds how to grow bud, but also in the high school level, like teaching them the different hydroponic growing methods, and just knowing that there are many different ways to grow different crops. And like our business partner says, hemp is just another crop. It's an epic crop, but it is just another crop. And if we can find ways to use it as effectively as possible, but at a high school level, it's more just to teach them the different growing methods and different growing mediums, and also the more fine and nitty-gritty of the science behind it, or introducing them to the sciences behind it.
And no smoking. So we're definitely going to be promoting a no smoking policy for any school children up until the age of 18, and then you graduate to your tertiary education space. Now you can start smoking, you can do whatever you want because you're a responsible adult, but this is where things start getting exciting. So now we want to touch on how your tertiary education spaces, your institutions can focus on your medicinal spaces. Obviously, getting a medicine degree is no mean feat, and we want to be making sure that cannabis is included in this curriculum. We want to look at manufacturing all the different types of products that we get. We know we have, let's say 25,000 different products. We want to know how we can make those in the best and most organic possible ways that have at least impact on our environment. We're looking at farming, so various different farming methods, research and development in all different farming spaces. And then lastly, we're looking at the construction, so hempcrete. Now, original Cape Town, our company, long-term plans is to go into hempcrete building, and we would like to see specifically a focus on our low-cost housing and our national development plan. We encourage you to come and chat to us at our store if you want to hear more about that. But each of these spaces that I just touched on have got a government sort of affiliate or representative. So your Medicinal Controls Council is obviously going to be dealing with the medicinal, your Agriculture Research Council with your farming, your Department of Trade and Industry will be with your manufacturing, and then your National Development Plan will be touching on your construction. And we're looking to see how we can facilitate a space for the government to get involved with the, I guess you could say the youth, but anyone in a tertiary education space, that they can start showing that they are keen to facilitate this movement over to hemp crops. So it's really exciting to see how we roll eventually into the government space, and now we're gonna touch on government, and this is where things get a little bit difficult sometimes, but we are some might say naively positive, but we're going to be touching on most of the positive sides and not what we can't achieve, but not what we can achieve. So we're breaking this down to local, national and international level. So on a local level, we're talking with the municipalities, and what the local governments have the authority to do is they've got the authority to allocate land. And I know land is a very contentious issue at the moment. We're not going to be touching on the contentious side, but let's look at how we can look to a local municipality to granting land to you guys sitting in this audience, to anyone in this law, if you have a sound business plan that is going to roll through with developing the cannabis space. So that's your grassroots levels, your laying land that will be dealing with your councillors. And we need to have a government that supports the mobilization of the farmers to getting into a hemp or into a cannabis space. And that is going to be happening on the local government level. And a really cool sort of platform that has been established for this to happen is the Cannabis Industry Development Cooperative of the Western Cape. I don't know if you guys have visited their store yet. I'm one of the co-founders of that cooperative, so obviously I'm going to blast them a little bit, but I mean, that is the platform that is necessary. We operate as a parastatal. We've been recognized by SAPRA as well as a parastatal, so that is the beginning of a platform for your layman to get involved on this grassroots level. So I really do encourage you guys to go visit the CRDC WC at the back. Okay, now we're jumping onto national. This is where things get slightly more intricate. Parliament needs to legislate cannabis into South African law. We all know they have about 16 months left, so I'm just going to leave that over there. Parliament is going to legislate cannabis into South African law, which is great. So that's one of the roles that they need to play. But we need to be lobbying the government to make sure that this process that is followed is not just going to be done by the referees of the game, as Tony refers to it, but rather the players of the industry. We all need to be there to make sure that our voice is heard up there, and that is what the Cannabis Industry Development Council serves as that function. So I'm also specifically on the lobbying committee. I work with Gareth Prince, and Gareth and myself will be representing in Parliament the national legislature to see how the legislature will be working in a way that favours the players in the game, whether that be your grow up in the basement to your massive 1,000-hectare farms. We need to be revisiting our national development plan. Our national development plan needs to take the green movement into account, and I'm not talking specifically about cannabis, but just about, and I hate how like the green alternative to building, it shouldn't be the green alternative to building, it should be the way of building, and then everything else is the alternative, because we've come so far. Nathan, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think it's just sometimes it's a little bit frustrating when they always say like you see these two young guys up here and we're dealing with this government that's had these systems in places for so long, and we're like those people saying, oh, there's always that eco problem that's coming up. It's the climate problem that we're always dealing with, and we're always pointing fingers to the people that have been making the decisions. And I think it's about time for the youth of this country to start taking some decisions, saying we're not going to accept you guys building with concrete anymore. We must make it. Let's say we want to change all national government buildings. From now on, every building must be built out of hempcrete. Why? Let's say because concrete is harmful for the environment, and we are going to make the decision that we're no longer going to be rolling out with concrete, because there is this hempcrete alternative, which we can, if we're farming it ourselves, we can grow it for super cheap. Like, it's not going to be a cost thing anymore. So that's where we can start as the youth. We start deciding the narrative of saying we're not going to just accept the decisions that you guys keep on making. We are going to decide to change these decisions, because you guys can't make the decisions forever, and we are going to come in and step into the space and start changing some of the norms that have just been accepted the whole time, and we can do this with